Welcome to Ravenwood Collectibles. I'm Steven.
And I'm Carla, and we are really glad to have you with us today for episode 3.
Today we're going to go on a little journey and look at the Kenner Indiana Jones action figure line. Not the vehicles, just the figures on this episode.
Awesome. But first, got a question for you.
Sure, yeah.
Have you seen any of the images coming out of D23 or any of the info about Indiana Jones?
I did. I did see the costume. I did see some costume shots.
Okay.
There was talk about a title reveal today, but I did not see there's a title. I did see there's a shot with Shorty and Harrison. Who plays Shorty?
Oh, I can't remember his full name.
Probably shouldn't have set you up like that, huh?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But I did see that image today, and that was, I mean, that's iconic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I hope as fans that they give us that. I really, truly do. I think that would be really cool.
That'd be awesome.
If they do it right.
Yeah.
You know, if it's gimmicky and quirky, it's going to be kind of over the top and fanfare. But if you actually do it right, I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Question I have for you before we get going.
Yes.
This morning we watched Prey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
So I actually really liked it. I was really not sure what to think going into it. I'm going to probably get roasted for this one, but I'm not really a big Predator fan, to be honest with you. I've kind of been like, I don't know about that. So I wasn't sure going into it. There's nobody in it that you know. But I don't know who the girl is that plays the lead in this, but she is excellent. And I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
all right.
Well, if we are ready, let's get going on this adventure.
Let's get going. Yeah.
All right. See you soon.
Look pretty.
Well, thanks. What are we doing here?
This is a little more dangerous than the last
A
one.
little more dangerous.
A little more dangerous. Just a little.
Oh, totally.
Look around. Be careful where you stand.
Oh, God. Don't tell me that. I don't like this place.
Hey, look.
Oh, hey, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, so we are in this really, really dangerous cave today.
It's not that dangerous, and we're not alone. These guys are with us.
Okay, well, thank you for being brave enough to join us, because we have to talk about Steven's favorite toy line of all time, which is vintage Kenner Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it is. It is my favorite toy line of all time. Card art on this line is absolutely beautiful. It's a small run of action figures to collect. It's not a cheap line of action figures to collect.
No, it's not.
Right. Yeah, let's not talk about that. But and it has a lot of history with me. I have loved Raiders of the Lost Ark since I was a little kid. Ever since Star Wars, and then Raiders comes out, I could not wrap my mind around the fact that the same gentleman playing Han Solo was playing Indiana Jones. It just blew my mind.
Well, yeah, to a little kid, they're real, aren't they?
Yeah, they were real. They were real people, and I think the kid down the street finally informed me that it was the same guy, and I couldn't believe what he was doing. It was crazy. Yeah.
So, as a child, tell me about these guys.
These are my two action figures from when I was a kid. Indiana Jones, and Lone Ranger. And my mom had taken me to KB Toys in the local mall, and I picked these up on the same day. So these two guys have been together for a long time. My brother had built this pretty elaborate pond in our backyard that had a really cool waterfall in it, and it was very Indiana Jones. So these two guys, occasionally they battled each other. For the most part, I think they are on an adventure together. I think they ran into some Kenner Star Wars action figures along the way, but a lot of times, for whatever reason, they ended up in the bottom of the pond, and it was murky. And I was too little. It was a pretty big pond, so I was too little to go down there and get to it.
Did you have to wait for your dad to go get them?
I did. I had to wait for my dad to clean the pond out with the shop vac. Then these two guys would be at the bottom. Remarkably, they're not in the best of shape, but they're not in the worst shape either. Indy's got his broken thumb here, which is very common. But yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's talk a little bit about some of the figures that are in this line.
Yeah.
So can we start with my favorite?
Yeah, let's start with your favorite.
Okay, so I've been around these for a while now because we've had these in some form or fashion. Well, you had them before we were even together.
Yeah, we've done some upgrading along the way, but for the most part, the line has been with us for quite a while.
Yeah. And so my favorite, I'm going to have to go girl power here, is Miss Marion Rayford. She is an amazing action figure. Really cool character too. I really was drawn to her because she is someone who can really hold her own with Indy, and he's a really strong character. So she's smart, she's courageous, she's funny. So all around, great character for little girls to look up to.
Kind of reminds me of you.
Oh, how nice. Well, I wouldn't go that far. But anyway, so really cool figure as well. I was so happy that Kenner did her in this dress for this action figure because it is a super iconic costume. I mean, it's one of those things that you see that costume and you know that that is Marion's dress from Raiders. And the figure itself, I mean, the dress itself has a lot of really cool detail, really intricate lace work, little flower on the back.
No other Kenner action figure that I know of has got that intricate of an outfit.
No, it's really, really detailed. Plus, they gave her a little monkey.
And as you know, the stand that it comes with too.
Yes.
It's the only action figure that comes with the stand, just based on the fact that her feet in shoes are tiny, couldn't stand on her own.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice addition to that figure.
But if you are doing loose, makes it really difficult to complete your loose line because finding an original Marion stand, really hard.
And I just want to say that card art on these action figures are some of the best card art we've ever seen. Star Wars is up there. I think Indy and maybe even Clash of the Titans.
Oh yeah, those are
Clash of the Titans card art is, man, it's right up there with those, and I just think they're absolutely beautiful. What would you like to know now?
Okay, so tell me a little bit about this gentleman right here.
Bellock. Bellock. Of all Bellocks they made a map, the map in Cairo Bellock. I mean, they very easily, in my opinion, should have made the opening scene Bellock, the idol Bellock when he's in his green fatigues.
Okay, yeah.
I think that would have been a better Bellock for them to make. But this is the Bellock that we got. Comes with a little tiny vinyl map.
Vinyl map?
Yeah,
not paper?
It's not. It's made out of like a little vinyl material.
Cool.
And as you know, when I was putting together my loose line, you can find Bellocks. You can find the original maps. Not easy. And all the value of a Bellock is in the map. Yeah.
You pay just as much for a map as you do for a Bellock. Or more.
Or more in our case. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right. So, the villain of this line, do you say it taut or do you say it tote?
Oh, you hear it spoken different ways. I mean, I always thought it was taut, but I think we had just watched some behind the scenes of making Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I think Steven Spielberg called him tote. So, tote, taut, I think you can say whatever you want to say. So yeah, this is a really cool figure. Unique pistol, which is only for him. Doesn't come with any of other figure in the line. Removable jacket, which is really kind of cool. It's a vinyl, kind of a rubbery vinyl jacket. Yeah.
Does he have the cool little thing on his hand?
He does, but it's on the other hand.
His hand?
Yes. Yeah, he does. He has that on there.
Cool.
7 points of articulation, like all the figures do. Yeah, very cool figure.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Good villain, too.
Yeah, he is a great villain.
Awesome. All right.
Good card art, too, by the way.
Very good card art.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of other villains in the line, too. We kind of be villains. We have the Cairo Swordsman.
Cairo Swordsman, very cool figure. Soft goods figure, which is really cool. In this line, there is some soft goods that they put on Sala, they put on Cairo Swordsman, they put on Indy Map Room Indy.
So you mean like real clothes
Like a robe,
instead of
yeah,
the
robe,
plastic
belt,
clothes?
yeah, buckle, yeah. It comes with a sword, comes with a knife. You know, character typical Kenner. Is in the movie for about 45 seconds and made a figure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool guy. He kind of looks a bit like a thuggy.
It does kind of look like a thuggy. Yeah. If they would have continued on the line into the Temple of Doom line with Kenner, that would have probably worked for sure.
They probably would have reused him like Kenner did with a lot of things.
Yeah.
All right. So our other bad guy in this line was our German mechanic.
German mechanic. All right, German mechanic. Pretty simple figure. He's got, he does have kind of an action arm on him.
Oh, okay.
Comes with a wrench, tiny wrench. Once again, in collecting the loose line of these figures, all the value of the German mechanic is in the wrench. I mean,
yeah,
it's a coveted piece. If you're trying to collect a full line of Kenner Indy, you know, that's one of those things that you go hunting for.
Probably a lot of those ended up in vacuum cleaners and landfills.
For sure, yeah.
And he wasn't in the movie very long, right?
Longer than the Cairo Swordsman was.
True. They
sure.
did get into a fist fight, but
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can go on and talk a little bit about some of our heroes and hero friends. So we have best friend of all, Sala.
Sala, very cool figure. This is one of those figures like we talked about that I did not know existed until later on in collecting. As a kid, I did not know there was a Sala figure out there. Soft goods robe, very cool. Comes with a torch. Same torch that comes in the Well of Souls. So you get two in the Well of Souls. Sala comes with a torch. Yeah, very cool figure. Good companion for Indy on adventures.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Very memorable character in the movie too.
Yeah.
I love Sala. All right. Now we have another version of Indy. Our Indy in German uniform.
Indy in German uniform. This is your troop builder. This is your stormtrooper of the Indiana Jones line. You buy a convoy truck. You fill the convoy truck full of German Indies. German Indies probably driving the convoy truck. And regular Indy, he's fighting German Indy. So
Indy gets to fight himself.
Yeah, comes with his rocket launcher, bazooka, whatever you want to refer to as for the end of the movie. It's a cool figure. Probably not my favorite figure. Like I said, to me, it could have been just a generic figure instead of a German Indy figure.
They could have just made a German soldier.
Yeah, which would have been probably just as good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And then I think, doesn't that just leave us now with 2? We've got a different version of Bellock.
So ceremonial Bellock, mail away figure, true to Kenner. Proof cutout, proof of purchases on the back of all the figure line and the toy line. Mail in, get a Bellock ceremonial outfit.
Kenner was famous for letting you cut up your cards.
Yeah. This is a really cool figure. It's got kind of a soft goods feel to it. I mean, it's kind of a weird robe. I'm not too sure what it's made out of, but it comes with his chest plate, his
cool.
staff.
Cool.
Yeah, really, really kind of a cool figure. It was originally going to get put out on card later in the line if the line had made it further along. You and I saw one on the card at Anaheim 2015 celebration, I think.
Yes, we did.
A lot of zeros in that number back then. Man, I was tempted. I was really tempted because it was real. Since then, I've made a custom version of it. It's holding place until the real one comes into the collection. But yeah, this is a really cool figure. We've had a lot of them. I have a lot of them. We got loose, graded. A bunch of them just kicking around. I usually come across them quite often.
Yeah, usually when you see a Bellock or an Indy, you usually buy the Bellock or the Indy, no matter how many we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and that brings us to our final figure in the line, the man himself, Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones figure. Hands down, not even close. This is my favorite action figure of all action figures. It has been since the story I told you about this guy. As soon as this guy came home, it trumped all action figures for me. He was in the Falcon probably more than my Bespin Han was in the Falcon. So. This is a really cool figure. Like we talked about, it's 7 points of articulation. He can ride horses. He can do a lot of things. He sits in the truck. He hangs off the front of the truck. He climbs on the truck. It's very posable. He's got his pistol holster, which is very cool. Whip ties onto his hook. And I'm just gonna say, I know there's figures out there today that are, they're 3D scan faces.
Yeah.
High articulation on action figures these days. Very
87 points of articulation.
Yeah. You can do a lot with them, but I argue with anybody that this action figure of all Indiana Jones action figures, I still say this action figure is the best looking Indiana Jones action figure out there ever made. And I think it looks more like him than any of the other ones. I mean, they can't seem to 3D scan or get Harrison Ford's likeness on an action figure. So,
very true.
This is a must-have. If you're an action figure collector, in my opinion, this is a must-have. This is cool to have all these, but this one starts or ends your collection of action figures.
Yes, he's a very cool action figure.
Yeah.
On the card. Perfect guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. So that is it for Kenner Indiana Jones on the card. We do have a lot more stuff that we, like Stephen had mentioned. We've done some customs, found some people on both Etsy and eBay. There are some brilliant makers out there who are doing some really cool custom stuff. So maybe at another time we do another video, show the customs.
We do some custom videos on cards. We got the LGN line that we need to go over, which is the Temple of Doom line.
Yeah, it takes about 2 minutes.
Star Toys. Maybe we can combine that and Star Toys together because that line, is
pretty small.
Is a pretty small line. We got obviously the vehicles and the play sets we'd love to go over. That episode will come out here probably in a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. Just a great line of toys to start off with. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool line. I love it. I think that now movie, you know, people are starting to get hyped up. We're starting to see a little bit more information about Indy 5 come out. So I think everybody's going to start rediscovering their love for this line of toys. And if you don't already have them, you probably should start getting them.
Yep.
All right, so if you liked today's video, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, and we will see you next time.
See you later, guys.